Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Welcome back to Matthew, the 9th chapter in the series of the Gospel of St. Matthew straight through. I am today's messenger, Brother Yerushalayim. And to my left, the reader,
Big Judah, Big Yalda. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Give me Psalms 111 and verse 10 first, please. It's a good day. Good day. Another Shabbat. Another day to worship the Most High.
Hallelujah.
And we're going to get into this lesson. As always, Psalms 111 verse 10.
Psalms 111, verse 10.
Come on.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Read.
A good understanding.
A good understanding of this Bible and of this lesson. Come on.
Have all they that do his commandments.
That do the commandments. Give me Proverbs or Isaiah 28 and verse 10. Isaiah 28 and verse 10. Let's find out how we're supposed to read the Bible. How did the Most High appoint us to read the Bible? Let's find that out. Isaiah 28 and verse 10.
Isaiah 28, verse 10.
Come on.
For precept must be upon precept.
Must be upon precept. There's no options in that. It must be upon precept. Come on.
Precept upon precept.
Come on.
Line upon line.
Line upon line in the context. Come on.
Line upon line.
Read.
Here a little.
Here a little from this chapter or this or the New Testament. Come on.
And there a little.
And there a little from the Old Testament or from another chapter. Now, let's start off with the message of the day. Let's go to Matthew, the 9th chapter. And we're going to kick it off with Matthew chapter 9.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 1.
Come on.
And he entered into a ship.
Read.
And passed over. And came into his own city.
In his own city. Come on.
And behold, they brought to him a man sick of the palsy.
Sick of the palsy. What's that? Paralysis. Meaning the man couldn't move. The nerves wasn't working in his legs, in his arms. He was paralyzed. Read.
Lying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing their faith,
And Yahweh, seeing their faith, come on.
said unto the sick of the palsy,
Come on.
Son,
Come on.
be of good cheer.
Be of good cheer. Read.
Thy sins be forgiven.
Thy sins. Give me 1 John 3 verse 4. It says, thy sins be forgiven. Let's find out what sin is according to the Bible. Let's find out what the Messiah was saying to this man.
All right.
Thy sins be forgiven.
1 John
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law.
Come on.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So that's what sin is according to the Bible. Breaking the Most High's law. Give me Leviticus 19 verse 28. Let's find out a law right now that this man might have been breaking.
Leviticus 19
and verse 28.
verse 28.
Right. Let's find out a law according to the Bible.
Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead,
Come on.
nor print any marks upon you. I am the Most High, or the Lord.
So you're not supposed to be getting tattoos on your body. You're not supposed to be going to do that. If you have tattoos now, you don't get no more, because that is a sin according to the Bible. The same sins that are the same law that the Messiah didn't come to do away with. He didn't come to let you come. He didn't come to let you put tattoos on your body. So go back to Matthew 9 and then verse 3.
Matthew 9, verse 3.
Come on.
Behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves,
Read.
This man blasphemes.
This man's blaspheming by saying he can forgive sins. Read.
And Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts?
Think ye evil in your hearts. What is the heart? It's talking about the mind. The heart is synonymous with the mind. How do we know that? Read it again.
And Jesus, knowing their thoughts,
Knowing their thoughts. You think that's in your mind, your brain. Come on.
said,
Read.
Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts?
So it's talking about why are you thinking evil in your mind. That's what he's saying to the scribes. Keep reading.
For whether is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and walk?
He's saying, is it easier to tell somebody that your sins be given, or is it easier to tell somebody to get up who's paralyzed and walk? Which one's easier? That's what he's telling the scribes and Pharisees, because they're marveling at him saying that he can forgive sins. Read.
But that ye may know that the Son of Man
Come on.
hath power on earth
On
to
earth.
forgive sins.
Read.
Then said he to the sick of the palsy, Arise,
Read.
take up thy bed, and go unto thine house.
Go into thy house. Keep reading.
And he arose and departed to his house.
Read.
But when the multitude saw it, they marveled.
They marveled. They marveled at this man. The Yahushua or Jesus Christ just told this man who was paralyzed to get up and walk. And the man just stood right up and walked. I mean, anybody would marvel at that. That's a crazy miracle happening. He took up his bed and he walked off. Keep reading.
And glorified Yah.
No, glorified Jesus.
Yah, God.
Glorified who?
God,
They
Yah.
glorified the Most High. They didn't glorify Jesus. Why? Because read next.
Which had given such powers unto men.
They said, I cannot believe this, that the Most High gave this type of power unto this man. They glorified the Most High because they knew the Most High is the one who gave him the authority to be able to heal in this type of manner. They didn't glorify Yahushua, or who you call Jesus Christ. They didn't give him the praise for it because they knew it came from the Most High. Keep reading.
And as Jesus passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew.
Named what?
Matthew.
We're reading from the book of what?
Matthew.
This is the same Matthew, the Apostle Matthew. Now he's Yahushua or Jesus Christ is passing by and he's seeing Matthew. Read.
Sitting at the receipt of customs.
What's the receipt of customs? That's a tax office. Something that the Romans had set up to impose taxes on all of the Israelites. They were using the publicans to do the tax bidding for the Romans. Keep reading.
And he said unto him, Follow me.
Come on.
And he arose and followed him.
So Matthew, when Yahushua passed by, he told Matthew, get up and follow me. Now, anybody in their right mind would think, what would cause Matthew to get up and not ask any questions and just
leave that good job.
Right, and leave that hot job he had and just get up and follow me. Watch this. Go to John 10 and verse 27. Let's find out why Matthew knew to just get up and leave his job and go follow the Messiah. What? John 10 and 27.
That's the precept. I had that precept the other day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah.
John 10 and 27. My sheep hear my voice.
Read it again.
My sheep hear my voice.
Give me Matthew 15, 24. Hold that. Give me Matthew 15 and 24. He says, my sheep hear my voice. Is this talking about some lamb out there and some ewes and rams out there? And a sheep? Is this talking about actual sheep? Let's find out who the sheep are. Matthew 15 and verse 24. Read.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 24.
Come on.
But he answered and said, I am not sent.
I didn't come to die on the cross. Come on.
But unto the lost sheep.
On the lost sheep
of the house of Israel.
That's who Matthew was. He was a lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now go back to go back to John 10. Read it again. My sheep of Israel, come on.
Hear my voice.
They hear my voice, read.
And I know them. And they follow me.
And they what?
They follow me.
That's why Matthew got up and followed him, because he heard the word and he knew that the Messiah was the one that was supposed to come. So when he had heard the Messiah, he had heard the fame of the Messiah, he knew that this was the right one that he was supposed to be following. Just like some of you today, some of you who hear this message, you're going to stop what you're doing and you're going to start following the Messiah. You're going to let go of the Christianity and the Islam because you hear his voice. Some of you not going to hear the voice because you might not be his sheep. Now go back to Matthew 9 and verse 9 again.
And as Jesus passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew.
Read.
Sitting at the receipt of custom. And he said unto him, Follow me. And he arose and followed him.
He arose and followed him because he was one of the lost sheep that the Messiah came for. Keep reading.
And it came to pass as Jesus sat at meat in the house.
He sat at meat in the house, meaning he was eating meat. For those who saying that Jesus or Yahushua was some type of vegetarian, he ate meat. He grubbed on the meat, right?
That's right.
Keep reading.
The book say, Behold, many publicans, come on, and sinners,
many tax collectors and sinners, those breaking the Most High's laws,
came and sat down with him and his disciples.
Come on, so they had a gathering. There was a gathering there. Read.
And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples,
come on,
why eateth your master with publicans and sinners?
Why is your master, the one you follow, why is he eating with these tax collectors and these people that's breaking the Most High's law? Why is he eating that? Because eating with them. The Pharisees, they were all like bougie people. They ate amongst themselves. They didn't want to eat with the lower class. Kind of same thing like the pastors today, like their T.D. Jakes and the Creflo Dollar. The bishops. They don't really want it. They might say they want to deal with the lower ones, but they don't want to deal with the lower class people. They really want to eat amongst themselves and people with stature. I mean, that's who they want to really eat around. Read verse 12.
But when Jesus heard that,
when Yahushua heard that,
he said unto them,
he said unto the Pharisees that was asking,
they that be whole need not a physician.
Okay.
But they that are sick.
So he told them a parable. He said, they that be whole, and he's meaning when he says they that be whole, he's talking about those that are keeping the commandments and those that know the word. They don't need a physician. They don't need somebody to come and make them whole again. And he says, but they that are sick, meaning those that are not keeping the commandments. Watch this. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 16 and verse 12. So he's referring to himself as the physician, and the publicans and the sinners are the ones that are sick. But this ain't talking about someone that's sick in a physical sickness. This is talking about a spiritual sickness. Now let's find out how this physician that he's referring himself to was going to heal these people that are sick, the publicans and sinners. Read.
For it was neither herb.
Read chapter and verse.
I'm sorry, Salaki. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 16 verse 12.
Come on.
For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health.
That restored them to health. Come on.
But thy word.
But the what?
Thy word.
Thy word. Come on.
O Lord.
Come on.
Which healeth all things.
That's what he was referring to. Now go back to Matthew 9 and 12 again.
But when Jesus had heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician.
Read.
But they that are sick.
But they that are sick, referring to the publicans and the ones that was breaking the laws. They needed the word, so that's why he was amongst them. Because they're the ones who need the word. A doctor's not, if you got 10 patients there, 5 of them are in great health, and you got 5 other ones that's got cancer and all type of diverse sicknesses, the doctor's not going to come to the ones that's healthy already when you got a whole bunch of other people that's over here that's sick and need his medical attention. So that's what he was doing. He came to the sinners, and it's about to explain the same exact thing as we keep reading on. Verse 13.
But go ye and learn what that meaneth.
Come on.
I will have mercy and not sacrifice.
Read.
For I am not come to call the righteous.
I ain't come to call the righteous, that's the ones that are whole. I didn't come for the ones that are whole already. Come on.
But sinners to repent.
I came to bring the ones that's breaking God's laws back to be converted to the Most High's laws. That's what I came to do. I came to heal them with the word, the ones that were sick in a spiritual sickness. That's what I came to do. The same job that he told his disciples, which is the same job we have here today, is to heal those that are spiritually sick, that are caught up in these other doctrines that don't correlate with what the Most High wants our people to do. Keep reading.
Then came him the disciples of John, saying, why do we and the Pharisees fast often?
Come on.
But thy disciple fast not.
Why are we fasting often, but your disciples don't fast at all? Why are we doing that and you guys are not doing that? Read.
And Jesus said unto them, can the children of the bridegroom mourn?
The children of the bridegroom, who was that? Those are his disciples. Read.
As long as the bridegroom is with them.
As long as the bridegroom is with them. Who's the bridegroom? Yahushua. Saying, can they mourn as long as I'm here with them? I'm the word. I'm the one who's going to be doing all the healing. I'm here with them. What do they got to be mourning about? What's the point of them fasting for? There's no point. But watch. Read.
But the days will come.
But the days will come. Come on.
When the bridegroom shall be taken away from them.
Because he had to die. There's a time when he was not going to be there. He had to die. Read.
Then they shall fast.
Then they going to fast because he's not going to be there with them at that time. The Holy Spirit is going to come and replace and bring back to remembrance all things that he taught. So then they were going to have to be in a state of mourning and fasting, which we are in today as well, a state of mourning and fasting. Keep reading.
No man putteth a piece of new cloth on an old garment.
Read.
For that which is put in to fill it up, take it from the garment.
Come on.
and the rent is made worse.
Keep reading.
Neither do men put new wine in old bottles,
Come on.
else the bottles break, and the new wine runneth out,
Read.
and the bottles perish.
Come on.
But they put new wine into new bottles,
Read.
and both are preserved.
Both are preserved. It's referring to you're not bringing in the old. You can't mix the old ways like with the Pharisees, what they were doing with the new word that the Messiah was bringing. Those two are not going to mesh together. It's going to cause chaos and confusion. Keep reading.
While he spake these things unto them,
Come on.
behold, there came a certain ruler,
Read.
and worshipped him,
Come on.
saying, My daughter is even now dead,
Read.
but come and lay thy hands upon her, and she shall live.
Come on.
And Jesus rose and followed him, and so did his disciples.
Come on.
And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years
Come on.
came behind him,
Read.
and touched the hem of his
And
garment.
touch the hem of his garment. Come on.
For she said within herself,
For she said within herself,
If I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole.
so she had a thought in her mind already. If I could just reach out and touch the hem of his garment, this sickness that I have of blood for 12 years will go away. She had faith that all she needed to do was just touch the hem of his garment and her whole issue will be cleansed. Come on.
But Jesus turned about,
22.
22. But Jesus turned him about. And Jesus turned him about. And when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort.
Read.
Thy faith has made thee whole.
Thy what?
Thy faith has made thee whole.
Thy faith have made thee whole, because she had the thought in her mind, that if she just touched his garment, that she would be whole. It wasn't really nothing that he did. It was her faith and her belief that touching his garment would cleanse her of the issue. And she actually believed that. Keep reading.
Okay. 23. Wait. And the woman was made whole from that hour.
And the woman was made whole from that hour, meaning that there was a process that took place. The body started creating. The body started making a process that did the cleansing. It didn't happen right away. It wasn't that the blood issue just went right away at that time. It was a process, whether it took a week, a year, or a few months. That's when the process started. The healing process started. The body started doing its natural process of healing process. Keep reading.
And when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise,
Come on.
he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead,
Come on.
but sleepeth.
Read.
And they laughed him to scorn.
Give me Psalms 22 and verse 7. It says, and they laughed him to scorn. This was a prophecy that was going to happen, that the people were going to laugh him to scorn, written in the book of Psalms. This is one of the things that he came to fulfill.
Psalms 22, 2 and verse 7.
Come on.
And they that see me laugh me to scorn.
Read it again.
And they that see me laugh me to scorn.
Come on.
They shoot out the lip.
Come on.
They shake the head, saying, He trusted on the Lord that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him.
Go back to Matthew 9. So they laughed him to scorn. He was fulfilling a prophecy right here written in the book of Psalms, that they would laugh him to scorn.
They laugh at us too when they see us in our garments.
Right,
they
right.
laugh at us too.
The same exact thing. Verse 25.
But when the people were put forth,
Come on.
he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose.
And the maid arose. Read.
And the fame hereof went abroad into all that land.
Come on.
And when Jesus departed thence, two blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David,
Now what?
thou son of David,
Now son of David, because he comes from the seed of David. He had a father. Come on.
have mercy on us.
So now we have two blind following the Messiah, begging for mercy. Keep reading.
And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him. And Jesus said unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this?
He told the blind man, he said, do you believe that I'm able to do this to make you whole? Do you actually believe this in your mind? And you actually really think that I can do this? Keep reading.
They said unto him, Yea, Lord.
They say, yeah, we believe this. We've been hearing about your fame and that you've been healing people. So yes, we believe that. we believe that you can make us whole and make us be able to see. Keep reading.
Then touched he their eyes, saying, according to your faith, be it unto you.
Read it again.
Then he touched their eyes, saying,
come on.
according to your faith,
According to your faith, or how much you actually really believe, come on.
be it unto you.
Be it unto you. Now, give me the placebo. Now, the scientists or the scientists and the psychiatrists of today, they understand how important faith is and how much of an impact that faith actually has on healing, on the healing process of someone who has some type of disease or sickness. There's an effect, it's called the placebo effect, that psychiatrists and psychologists actually know about. And we're going to read about this placebo effect and show you how it correlates exactly to what was going on here at this time, about how people's faith and believing that the Messiah can actually heal them, how much faith played a role of them actually being healed. WebMD.com, that's the name of the website. Now let's find out what the placebo effect is. Read it.
A placebo is anything that seems to be a real medical treatment.
A real medical treatment. And in this case, it would have been him touching their eyes. Read.
But is it?
But is not. Come on.
It could be a pill.
It could be a pill.
A shot.
A shot.
Or some other type of fake treatment.
Fake treatment. Come on.
What all placebos have in common is that they do not contain an active substance meant to affect health.
So this is what they use. Like, for instance, a doctor will give somebody who's, say you're suffering from asthma. So people with asthma, they take inhalers and they squeeze the inhaler and actual medication comes out and it's supposed to open up the lungs. So a placebo effect, it would be just probably just air in there, but they would tell you that they came out with this new research that when you try this medication, it's going to be more effective than what you already been using. So in your mind, you already have a preconceived notion that it's going to work once you take it. So your mind is going to believe that even though there's nothing inside of the medication. Now, jump down to what is a placebo effect.
Sometimes a person can have a response to a placebo.
A placebo, meaning a fake medication. There's no medication that's in what you're taking. Read.
The response can be positive or negative.
Can be positive effect or it can be a negative effect. Watch. Read.
For instance, the person's symptoms may improve.
May improve, even though you're not taking no medication. Why? Because you believe. Read.
Or the person may have what appears to be side effects from the treatment. These responses are known as the placebo effect.
Okay, go to the next page. Okay. Go to how does the placebo effect work?
Research on the placebo effect has focused on the relationship of the mind and body.
The relationship on the mind and body. Read.
One of the most common theories is that the placebo effect is due to a person's expectations.
What you expect. That's what it's saying, that the results are due to what you're actually expecting. So if you're expecting the medication to work, the results actually manifest that they work. Come on.
If a person expects a pill to do something.
If it expects a what?
Pill to do something.
If you expect a pill that they give you that don't have anything in it to do something,
then it's possible that the body's own chemistry can cause effects similar to what a medication might have caused.
Meaning that your body's going to cause the same reaction as if they gave you something that actually contained medication in it. That's how your body's going to react because you believe it in your mind. Keep reading.
That's the end of that.
Keep going.
Keep going down.
Yep, right there.
For instance, in one study, people were given a placebo and told it was a stimulant. After taking the pill, their pulse rate sped up.
The pulse rate sped up. They was taking a placebo, and they were told that it was a stimulant, which it didn't have anything in it. But the pulse rate sped up because they expected it to speed up. Read.
Their blood pressure increased.
The blood pressure increased. Come on.
And their reaction speeds improved.
And the reaction speeds improved because they believed it in their mind, even though it was nothing actually there. Come on.
when people were given the same pill and told it was to help them get to sleep, they experienced the opposite effects.
Okay, keep reading.
Experts also say that there's a relationship between how strongly a person expects to have results and whether or not results occur.
So he's saying that the experts know that the more you believe that the results are supposed to occur, that actually has an effect on what type of results occur. The same way that these blind men believed that by him touching their eyes that they would be healed, it's the same exact effect. Keep going.
The stronger the feeling, the more likely is that a person will experience positive effects.
The more you believe it, is the more likely that it's going to come to pass. It's going to happen. That your health problem is going to be healed. Come on.
There may be a profound effect due to the interaction between a patient and health care provider.
Keep reading.
The same appears to be true for negative effects.
For negative effects, watch, read.
For people expect to have side effects such as headaches, nausea, or drowsiness.
If you take a placebo, which is not even a pill at all, it's no medication, and you expect it to give you headaches, nausea, or drowsiness,
there's a greater chance of those reactions happening.
So whatever you believe, there's a great chance of that actually happening.
You're going to receive.
You're going to receive, right? Yeah. Keep reading.
The fact that the placebo effect is tied to expectations doesn't make it imaginary or fake.
It doesn't, just because it's tied to your imagination, they're saying that it doesn't make this a fake medical treatment. Keep going.
Sometimes studies show that there are actual physical changes that occur within the placebo effect. For instance, some studies have documented an increase in the body's production of endorphins, one of the body's natural pain relievers.
So the body's natural endorphins actually start to react. So when your brain is telling you something and you start believing it, it's the housing of the central nervous system. So it starts to give a signal to the rest of your body, and it starts to act like it starts to release the endorphins and starts to heal, act like going to a healing process, even though there's nothing going on. You haven't taken any medication, but just because you believed it, it starts like a chain reaction through the rest of your body. The same way I knew somebody who believed that they had HIV. They believed it so much, and they were so terrified of it that when they went and took the HIV test, but they believed it so much that it was going to come back positive, that they started getting the symptoms of the HIV, which is the swollen lymph nodes right underneath the throat glands. They started swelling up, and when the lymph nodes swell up, that means your body's fighting off a virus. But when the test came back, it came back negative. He didn't have anything. So the body was fighting off a fake virus. Why? Because he believed that in his mind. So that's how serious faith is.
According to your faith, be it as
according to your faith, right. That's why it says according to your faith. Because the faith in your mind, it'll send an actual reaction to the rest of your body and start operating in the way that you believe. So that's more of a scientific way of understanding what Yahushua was actually doing. He was actually bringing some real science back then that we just now starting to understand. Now, go back to Matthew
30.
Okay, go ahead.
And their eyes were open.
Right, read.
And Jesus straightly charged them.
Wait, and it says, and their eyes were open. So now we're dealing with a woman who had an issue of blood. No, matter of fact, keep going. I need you to keep going.
And their eyes were open.
Read.
Jesus straightly charged them, saying, see that no man know it.
See that no man know it. He said, don't go tell anybody about this. But watch what they did.
But they were departed.
The blind men, when they departed, who can now see,
spread abroad his fame and all that country.
You know, they told everybody. They went and told everybody. I mean, but any of us would have done the same thing. You've been blind, and all of a sudden you can see everything. All these billions of different colors that you can now see. Of course you're going to spread the news. They couldn't help it. Come on.
As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man, possessed with a devil.
A dumb man. Is this talking about somebody that lack intelligence? No. Give me Psalms 38 and verse 13. Behold, they brought to him a dumb man. Let's find out what a dumb man is in the Bible. Psalms 38 and 13.
Psalms 38 and 13. But I, as a deaf man, heard not.
Heard not. Deaf men don't hear. Read.
And I was a dumb
A
man
dumb man.
that opened not his mouth.
That's somebody that couldn't speak. That's what a dumb man is, according to the Bible. Go back to Matthew 9 and 33. 9 and 32.
And as they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb
A
man,
dumb man, somebody who couldn't speak.
possessed with a devil.
He had a devil. Come on.
And when the devil was cast out,
Read.
the dumb spake.
The dumb what?
Spake.
That proves you that the dumb man is talking about somebody who couldn't speak. Come on.
The multitudes marveled.
And the multitudes marvel. They couldn't believe this either. They said a dumb man can speak now? Somebody whose tongue cleaving to their mouth, to the roof of his mouth, he can speak now? They couldn't believe this. Watch, come on. Saying,
it was never so seen in Israel.
We've never seen anybody ever do something like this in Israel. We've never in our life seen something like this or heard about it from the people of old. We've never heard about this. Now, so we have somebody who's been possessed or who had an issue of blood for 12 years. We have somebody who was blind, and we have somebody who couldn't speak. Now the question is, who's the one who's causing all these people to be able to be in these situations, in these predicaments? Who's causing the people to be born blind and the people to be dumb and not be able to speak? Watch this. Give me Exodus 4 and 11. Let's find out who is the one who's doing this. You'll be surprised when you find out who's the one causing these people to be born this way. Exodus 4 and verse 11.
Exodus 4, verse 11.
Read.
And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made this man's mouth?
Who made man's mouth? Come on.
Or who maketh the dumb or deaf?
Or who's the one making the dumb or the deaf? Who's the one making people not be able to speak or can't hear? That's what the Most High is asking. Read.
Or seeing, or the blind?
Or the seeing or the blind. Who's doing this is what the Most High is asking. Read.
Have not I the Lord?
Read it again.
Have not I the Lord?
Read it again.
Have not I the Lord?
The Most High said he's the one who does that. He's the one who makes people blind and makes people not be able to speak. The Most High saying, I'm the one who do that. Give me Amos 3 and verse 6. Watch this. We're going to find out some more characteristics about the Most High real quick and find out what else he does. Because a lot of you would think that Satan is the one who did this. Or Satan's the one that causes people to be born blind and to be born deaf. Amos 3 and verse 6. Watch this.
Amos 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city?
Come on.
And the people not be afraid?
And the people be not be afraid. Read.
Shall there be evil in the city?
Shall there be what?
Evil in a city.
Shall there be evil in a city? Somebody getting raped, robbed, murdered. Somebody getting put to death. Come on.
And the Lord have not done it?
That's what Amos is. Give me Isaiah 45 and 7. That's what Amos is asking. It's a rhetorical question, but Amos is asking, is there evil that's been done in a city and the Most High have not done it? Let's find out. Isaiah, he answers this question. Now he's about to answer the question for us. Watch this.
Isaiah 45 and 7.
Read.
I form the light.
The Most High says, I form the light. Read.
And create darkness.
And create darkness. When the sun goes down, the Most High does that. Read.
I make peace.
I make peace. When there's love amongst the brethren, the Most High does that. Come on.
And create evil.
And what?
And create evil.
And what?
And create evil.
And create evil. Keep reading.
For I, the Lord, do all these things.
The Most High say he's the one who does all these things. He signed his name on it. He's putting his signature right there. When little Jimmy or Junebug go out and kill 100 people, the Most High is the one who's responsible for that. The Most High, not Satan. You got the Most High, and the Most High. He's like the president. He's the emperor of the whole thing. Then you got on the right hand side, you got the Messiah. Then on the left hand side, you got Satan, and they both doing his will. He's sending Satan off. Give me Psalm 78 one more. Psalm 78 and 49. He sends Satan to go off and do the evil work, and the Messiah is there to do the righteous work. He's like the president. He get credit for all the things that go on. Watch this.
Psalm 78 And 49.
And 49, read.
He cast upon them fierceness of anger,
Come on.
wrath,
Wrath
and indignation,
and indignation, read.
and trouble,
And trouble.
by sending evil angels.
By doing what?
Evil angels.
By sending what?
Evil angels.
The Most High sent what?
Evil angels.
Come on.
Among them.
He's the one who does that. He sends Satan and his legion of demons to go out and do the will. Like I said, when Junebug go out there and kill 100 people, the Most High sent the Spirit, sent Satan to go out there and do that. Nothing happens without the Most High saying yes or no to it. The trees don't turn green without the Most High saying you can turn green. Nothing happens in the world without the Most High saying, putting his signature on it, because he signed and said, I, the Lord, do all these things. The Most High is the one who did it. And he's not the one that's actually going out and killing people with his own hands. He's sitting up there and he's the one giving the order, just like the president. The president don't go out and do anything. The president don't go out and fight no wars. But when the wars are won, who gets the credit? The president does. When the economy is falling, who gets blamed for it? The president does. There's actual foot soldiers that go out there and fight the war, but they don't get no credit for it. The president is the one who gets the credit. So it's the same scenario here. So
another good precept to that is Romans 9, when it's speaking of the two kids, one not having done good nor evil.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Romans 9. That is a good one. So the Most High is responsible for these men being blind. He's the one who did it. Now, Matthew 9 and verse 34.
But the Pharisees said, he casteth out devils through the prince of the devils.
They saying he doing this through the prince of the devils, which is Beelzebub. They saying they're saying he's the devil because he's able to do all these things. But the Pharisees, when you know about them, they were really envious about him. They were really envious of him. They didn't want the people to believe on him. So they were trying to defame him and put all type of what's the word I'm looking for? They're putting all type of
stereotypes.
Yeah, stereotypes, and they putting all type of nonsense on his character, which wasn't true. Keep reading.
And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues.
Wait, read again.
And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues.
Teaching in their synagogues, the synagogues of the Pharisees, which were Jews. Come on.
And preaching the gospel of the kingdom.
Preaching the gospel of the kingdom in their synagogues, which were Jews. Come on.
And healing every sickness.
Come on.
And every disease among the people.
Jimmy, John 18 and verse 20.
John
Healing
18.
every sickness and disease among the people. Who are these people he was healing? I'm going to just back it up real quick. That I'm going to show you that this was dealing with the Israelites. He wasn't dealing with nobody else. John 18 and verse 20.
John 18 verse 20. And Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world.
I spake openly to the world.
I ever taught in the synagogue.
Ever taught in the synagogue. Read.
And in the temple.
Come on.
Whether the Jews.
Whether the what?
Jews.
Whether the what?
Jews.
Whether the Jews.
Always resort.
Whether the Jews always resort. That's where he was teaching at. Go back to Matthew 9 again. And then go back to, go to 36 now.
But when he saw the multitude.
Come on.
He was moved with compassion on them.
Read.
Because they fainted. And were scattered abroad.
Because they fainted and were scattered abroad. Read.
Okay. As sheep having no shepherd.
As sheep having no shepherd. When he was out there preaching, he was looking at all the people. They all scattered abroad into this different doctrine, that different doctrine. They had no leaders that was supposed to be governing them. The Pharisees were supposed to be the leaders of the people. But the Pharisees, we all know that they didn't care anything about the people. They were a bunch of hypocrites. The Pharisees did not care about the people. Now watch this. Go to Numbers 27 and 16. It's actually against the law for us to be as sheep having no shepherd. It's actually a law for us to be in that state. And it's the same thing for us today. We're in that same state today. And that is against the law for us to be in that situation.
Numbers 27 and
16. Read.
Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh,
come on,
set a man over the congregation.
Set a man over the congregation. Come on.
Which may go out before them.
Come on.
Which may go in before them. And which may lead them out.
Read.
And which may bring them in.
Come on.
The congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd.
Read it again.
Be not as sheep,
Be not as sheep.
which have no shepherd.
So it was appointed that we were supposed to have a leader over us, so we don't be like sheep having no shepherd. But we were sheep, and we are sheep having no shepherd today, because the leaders back then, the Pharisees, didn't care about the people, and it's the same thing today. The leaders and the pastors don't care about the people today either. They don't care about the people. Watch this. Give me John 11 and verse 47. I'm going to show you how the Pharisees felt. Even though the Messiah was coming and doing a great work, the Pharisees didn't really care about the people. They only cared about themselves and keeping their status with the Romans. Watch this. John 11 and verse 47.
John 11, verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees and counsel and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
They say this man is doing many miracles, like healing the blind, making the blind see, making the dumb speak. He done many miracles. Come on.
If we let him thus alone,
if we leave this man alone,
all men will believe on him.
All Israel's going to believe on this man, the one that's doing this great work. Everybody's going to be believing on this man. Watch, read.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Read it again.
And the Romans
shall come
and take away both our place and nation.
That's what they was really afraid of. That's what they was really worried about. The Romans coming to take away their place and nation, because they had a high status. The Romans were using them to keep the Israelites oppressed.
That's right.
So that's what they didn't care about the people. They just wanted to keep the status. The same way that the pastors are doing today.
I was just about to say
the same exact way. They cannot come and teach this word the correct way, because they're going to lose their high authority position. You're not going to have no Jesse Jackson coming and breaking down this Bible telling you the Israelites, because as soon as he do that, the American white man going to kick him right out of the place. Say we can't use him no more. The same like Malcolm X tried to go against the powers that be. They put him to death. You start doing that, they're gonna put the CIA on you, and you're gonna get killed. So that's why they wasn't dealing that way. That's why they didn't care about the people. They only cared about their status. Now go back to Matthew 9 and finish that off.
Then he said unto his disciples,
Read.
The harvest truly is plenty.
The harvest is plenteous. Who is the harvest? All the rest of the Israelites out there. He said the harvest truly is plenteous. There's so many people out there that need the word to be healed. The same way it is today. There's so many people out there that need to be healed by this word. Come on.
But the laborers are few.
But the people to do this work and to go out and teach the people and gather the sheep and bring them back, there's a few people that's going to do that. That's what the Messiah was saying. That there's only a few people that's handpicked to do this work. Read.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest.
Come on.
That he will send forth laborers into his harvest.
He says, pray that the Most High going to send more people out there to go gather his flock back. That's what you're supposed to be praying for. Pray that he going to send more other brothers that's going to love their people and bring them back into the fold. The same job that we have today, to go and bring Israel back to the fold and to come out of the different doctrines that's going on throughout the planet. That's the same job we have today. You got anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay, give me Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13. So that's the breakdown of Matthew, the 9th chapter. So if you have any other questions, then pose them and put them on the YouTube channel in the comment section, and we'll be glad to answer them. We're going to close it off, as always, with Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, Salakia, and verse 13.
Come on.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Let us hear the conclusion of this whole lesson. Come on.
Fear Yah.
Fear the Most High God.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. Read.
For this is the whole duty of man.
That's your whole duty in life, to fear the Most High and to keep his commandments. If you didn't understand anything out of this Bible or anything out of this lesson or this message that we just brought, you better understand you need to fear the Most High and keep his commandments, because that's your whole duty in life.
Better learn them if you don't know.
Right. And keep following the commandments and the way of the Messiah. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
And the Most High's will, we'll be back to do chapters 10 and 11.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
One nation under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it. One nation and we're on the move. Nothing can stop us now. One nation.
For precept must be upon precept.
Must be upon precept. There's no options in that. It must be upon precept. Come on.
Precept upon precept.
Come on.
Line upon line.
Line upon line in the context. Come on.
Line upon line.
Read.
Here a little.
Here a little from this chapter or the New Testament. Come on.
And there a little.
And there a little from the Old Testament or from another chapter. Now, let's start off with the message of the day. Let's go to Matthew, the 9th chapter. And we're going to kick it off with Matthew chapter 9.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 1.
Come on.
And he entered into a ship
Read.
and passed over and came into his own city.
In his own city. Come on.
And behold, they brought to him a man sick of the palsy.
Sick of the palsy. What's that? Paralysis. Meaning the man couldn't move. The nerves wasn't working in his legs, in his arms. He was paralyzed. Read.
Lying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing their faith,
And Yahweh seeing their faith. Come on.
said unto the sick of the palsy,
Come on.
Son,
Come on.
be of good cheer.
Be of good cheer. Read.
Thy sins be forgiven. On earth
On
to
earth.
forgive sins.
Read.
Then said he to the sick of the palsy, Arise,
Read.
take up thy bed, and go unto thine house.
Go into thy house. Keep reading.
And he arose and departed to his house.
Read.
But when the multitude saw it, they marveled.
They marveled. They marveled at this man. The Yahweh or Jesus Christ just told this man who was paralyzed to get up and walk. And the man just stood right up and walked. I mean, anybody would marvel at that. That's a crazy miracle happening. He took up his bed and he walked off. Keep reading.
And glorified Yah.
No, glorified Jesus.
Yah, God.
Glorified who?
God,
They
Yah.
glorified the Most High. They didn't glorify Jesus. Why? Because read next.
Which had given such powers unto men.
They said, I cannot believe this, that the Most High gave this type of power unto this man. They glorified the Most High because they knew the Most High is the one who gave him the authority to be able to heal in this type of manner. They didn't glorify Yahweh, or who you call Jesus Christ. They didn't give him the praise for it because they knew it came from the Most High. Keep reading.
And as Jesus passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew.
Named what?
Matthew.
We're reading from the book of what?
Matthew.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Welcome back to Matthew, the 9th chapter in the series of the Gospel of St. Matthew straight through. I am today's messenger, Brother Yerushalayim. And to my left, the reader.
Big Judah, Big Yalda. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Give me Psalms 111 and verse 10 first, please. It's a good day. Good day. Another Shabbat. Another day to worship the Most High.
Hallelujah.
And we're going to get into this lesson. As always, Psalms 111 verse 10.
Psalms 111, verse 10.
Come on.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Read.
A good understanding.
Good understanding of this Bible and of this lesson. Come on.
Have all they that do his commandments.
That do the commandments. Give me Proverbs or Isaiah 28 and verse 10. Isaiah 28 and verse 10. Let's find out how we're supposed to read the Bible. How did the Most High appoint us to read the Bible? Let's find that out. Isaiah 28 and verse 10.
Isaiah 28, verse 10.
Come on. You put tattoos on your body. So go back to Matthew 9. And then verse 3.
Matthew 9, verse 3.
Come on.
Behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves,
Read.
This man blasphemes.
This man's blaspheming by saying he can forgive sins. Read.
And Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts?
Think ye evil in your hearts. What is the heart? It's talking about the mind. The heart is synonymous with the mind. How do we know that? Read it again.
And Jesus, knowing their thoughts,
Knowing their thoughts. You think. That's in your mind, your brain. Come on.
said,
Read.
Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts?
So it's talking about why are you thinking evil in your mind. That's what he's saying to the scribes. Keep reading.
For whether is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise and walk.
He's saying, is it easier to tell somebody that your sins be given? Or is it easier to tell somebody to get up who's paralyzed and walk? Which one's easier? That's what he's telling the scribes and Pharisees. Because they're marveling at him saying that he can forgive sins. Read.
But that ye may know that the Son of Man
Come on.
hath power.
Thy sins. Give me 1 John 3 verse 4. It says, thy sins be forgiven. Let's find out what sin is according to the Bible. Let's find out what the Messiah was saying to this man.
All right.
Thy sins be forgiven.
1 John
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law.
Come on.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So that's what sin is according to the Bible. Breaking the Most High's law. Give me Leviticus 19 verse 28. Let's find out a law right now that this man might have been breaking.
Leviticus 19
and verse 28.
verse 28.
Right. Let's find out a law according to the Bible.
Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for
Come
the
on.
dead,
Come on.
nor print any marks upon you. I am the Most High, or the Lord.
So you're not supposed to be getting tattoos on your body. You're not supposed to be going to do that. If you have tattoos now, you don't get no more, because that is a sin according to the Bible. The same sins that are the same law that the Messiah didn't come to do away with. He didn't come to let you come. He didn't come to let